Recording. Welcome, everybody. My name is James Rush, and I am the host for this room and this presentation workshop. It's not a bunch of theory, folks. We're getting into you making something and having a very practical lesson to work with. And we are very fortunate here to have Francesca Mazzucato. Maybe I'm saying that with not the best pronunciation, but she is a professional European English teacher. She is in Europe at this time. Good morning there, Francesca.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all.
And she's a teacher trainer and an international collage artist, as well as being a writer. And with that, I'll turn it over entirely to you, and I'll just hang out if you have any desires from me. But this room is yours, Francesca. Go ahead.
But please stay there. But
Yes.
yeah, thank you, and good morning or good afternoon to everybody who are here now or who will see this presentation, this workshop after. And the title is "Play with Me, Please," and is about three main topics: creativity, play, and learning through play. So starting with the point, the first important point, creativity. We as teacher need to be creative, to recognize our creative power. This is absolutely fundamental, but it is also very difficult to recognize our creative power. Why? Because my inner critic, but also your inner critic, is a big jerk. What do we mean when we say that the inner critic is a big jerk? Because we can have problems with a little voice speaking inside our mind, saying, no, you are not good enough. You are not good. You are not allowed to be really creative. You are a teacher. You can stay in your normal everyday routine, or in any case, you have nothing to say, or if you want to say it's not the right time. We find excuses about our continuous postponing. I have here just I have a little list of of all the buckets of lies we tell ourselves to postpone the point facing creativity. Oh my God, I'm so afraid of failing. I won't turn out the way I imagine anyway. Oh, so many ideas, but I don't know how to execute them perfectly the first time, so I prefer to leave because we think that we must reach perfection. Instead, perfection is not the point. We must enjoy the process. Is enjoying the process the point? Not reaching perfection, not creating masterpieces, and not pushing or suggesting to our students to reach perfection, but enjoy the process is fundamental, in particular in these challenging times during a world pandemic, when our students of all ages have problems in finding a balance, a ground, creativity, and techniques to find again a grounding way of following online lessons, for example, or even blended lesson is fundamental. So just to come back to all the lies we tell ourselves, just to pay attention to the inner critic and avoid daring, because even speaking about this is daring. The creativity is a fundamental issue in ELT, but now is the moment to dare. Oh my God, there are so many real artists out there who could do it better. Why bother? I have to get it right in my head first before I commit it to paper. Others can execute my idea better than I can. Or we have other kind of excuses, the blame game. My espresso machine is out of capsules. I can't do anything today. The cat was sleeping on my sketchbook. My parents think it's too weird. I can't paint, I can't write, I can't, just I can't. So there are so many excuses. And we listen to this voice. We pay too much attention. This little voice, the inner critic that we all have, must be silent. We need to consider that our inner images, our heart, our power, all these elements need to be expressed, and through this we feed our creativity. We become ready to play with our students of all ages. Please don't consider this workshop, this meeting, as only for directed to primary school, kindergarten, or stuff like that. Is first of all a sort of teacher training. So it's for us and is for all kind of student. So play is an art and is the heart of us all. What I suggest to feed our creativity is to use the hands. I'm sure that motivation for our students in this challenging time of changings, of uncertain upheavals, even if they are all in their houses, they must be helped to remember and the part of the body to stay connected with the body. So use the hands just as a warm-up before the lesson. Use the hands, invent some games with the hands, just like a butterfly, for example. Use the hand, yes, concentrate. We too, touch our face, stay in great and strong connection with our body. These are all elements that will bring us to be able to play. We must feed our creativity, shut up the inner critic, say that we are good enough and that we will be fantastic and motivating for our students of all ages. Children, for example, are creative lifelong learners. And I would really like, because a butterfly is a sort of leitmotif of this workshop, of propose you this statement: play and learning are like the two wings of a butterfly. One cannot exist without the other one. She is Carla Rinaldi, president of Reggio Children. The Reggio Children approach was born in Italy many years ago and became famous worldwide. I will show you after a link, a beautiful link to the website of the Reggio Children approach. Maybe you never heard about that. They are really known and spread not only in Italian experience now, but an international one. And yes, play and learning are like the two wings of a butterfly. I strongly believe this. So Another, this is, here there is a video, and I would like to introduce you this video because it's part is taken from the experience of the Lego Foundation. We need to redefine play as a central arena for learning in the minds and action of those influencing children's lives. So, first of all, when we say play, this can mean many kinds of experiences. Play that gives children the freedom to explore. Play that can be more guided, more structured to improve specific skills. So now I show you a beautiful and really inspiring example of this. If it works, of course, otherwise I won't.
That's always the challenge, but we'll get through it.
Oh yeah, I think it works.
For our guests and for people that are...
Wait. Can you see it or not?
Not so clear yet.
Basically, Abby, this is what's going to happen.
Is it clear?
So they're going to be standing.
Wait, I think it's better that I stop my sharing of the slides and we watch the video. I share only the video because maybe is better like that, and I think in this way you can see it completely.
Yeah,
and so I have a better experience because it's really beautiful experience, and I think it is worthwhile.
Mrs. Lim and Rebecca, while we are waiting, can you maybe in the chat room, and anybody else that is paying attention here, like what are your grade levels?
Okay.
Oh, there we go. So, we're ready.
approach, but we didn't know how it would work in the classroom.
We work with the teachers as co-researchers, and I mean that quite seriously because we know the research, but they know how to teach. They, better than anybody else, can see the difference that this intervention was making.
Before I was involved in this, I found that my English lessons, there was a big pressure to get onto writing as fast as possible. And it meant that often children would come out afterwards with very uninspired ideas. Today, for our English lesson, we are going to be finishing the story of the hero twins. I'd like you to write the opening to your story. Make sure that as you do so, you're using your model. Move things around to help you to get ideas for your writing. We've been using this book to tell a story. With the Lego, the children have been recreating the story in storyboard form using the individual flats.
This is the ending to get back home. That's the and then when one of them dies,
the king.
Yeah, the king. The other one has to find the transport to get back home, and it's a bike.
When you get to a different part of the story, you can change the scene very quickly in front of you to move the characters around in the scene. It's one of the great things about it as opposed to a paper plan.
If, like, Hunter did survive, would, like, his father come home with him?
Yeah.
A key part of our research is going into the schools to observe what children actually do in the small groups when they're working together.
We measured their metacognitive abilities, we measured their basic language. We've also taken measures of the children's fundamental oral narrative skills, so how good are they at telling a story.
So I was pleased to be taking part in the research project, but really struggled to begin with. I thought it would be an exciting, exhilarating, positive experience. It couldn't have been further from that. It was a horrible, horrible disaster.
The role of the teacher has to change somewhat because they no longer become, the fountain of knowledge and the instructor. Ideally, they become co-players.
What started to work was just literally trial and error, a lot of trial and error. And then he falls off again.
I like building and then sort of writing down and changing it, because if you get stuck, then like you can look at the picture and the Lego and sort of say, wait, we need to describe that more because of blah blah blah.
Children are role models for us all. And I would say that I discovered the work of the Lego Foundation. I'm not sponsored, or I never had direct contact by the foundation. I think that for this kind of experience could be okay, any kind of bricks or stuff, allowing children or allowing everybody to build. And the real challenge is to do this and to consider this possible even in virtual online classes. This is not, we shouldn't consider online classes as the poor version of a physical class. I heard something about it a little bit around, or it's natural. I think it's a natural prejudice. But if we have to change our parameters because due to the pandemic and the challenging times we are living, we will need to use the online lesson, the virtual lesson more. If we remain in the virtual part, we will lose empathy, creativity, and our students will feel alone, will feel as in all the other experiences of their lives. So with connections, with apps, surrounded by this, also in their educational experience. And this is very true for children, but for everybody, because we all need that our teachers become co-players. Co-players can mean many things, and we all need engagement and fun. And
if I may, Francesca, so I am also hearing that they need community in order, because you can't engage just yourself. I mean, I guess you can engage in the creative process, but
absolutely,
tell the story, you
absolutely.
need somebody to kind of tell the story too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is just to show you as a link, because I have a credit to this is a link of the Lego Foundation. I strongly suggest everybody, every teacher, not only teachers of kindergarten or primary education, but learning through play is, I would say, one of the best kind of teacher training first, and of learning for us, I mean, something that will be fundamental. So our online lesson, we are here because we say re-envisioning ELT. So our training should be a daring training, and learning through play is exactly that. So now I come back to my slide, and so to the place where I started. So this is the experience of the Lego Foundation, as I told you, and so what I would like to say, the students plays a constantly influenced by particular culture, values, and beliefs, because it changes. There is a beautiful quote of Pablo Picasso that I would like to repeat here to share with you. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. This was Pablo Picasso's main concern, and is so true because of the problem I said before, because when we grow up, we listen to the inner critic because we are surrounded by other problems and other things that are more important, that seem more important. So all these aspects can be reported also in the virtual classes. Because, and here is about the Reggio Emilia project, a model from Italy to the world, what kind of experience. We say learning to play happens when the activity is experienced as joyful, helps children find meaning, involves active, engaged minds on thinking, and iterative thinking, so experimentation, hypothesis testing, social interaction. So if we know that we have to use this in online classes, we know that the challenge is really big, really big. Here there is a video I suggested about Reggio Emilia project, but about that I stopped the sharing and I show you the main page of this Reggio Emilia project that is, I think, an important Reggio Emilia approach, an educational philosophy based on the image of a child with strong potentialities for development and a subject with rights who learns through the 100 languages belonging to all human beings and grows in relation with others. This is beautiful and is an education progress project which has become a reference point throughout the world, and is founded on, and you can find what is, and you can see here the atelier, creativity, the daily presence of a plurality of educators, the environment as educator. So we can see how modern and contemporary this approach was, and it started as its first race in the mid-19th century. So if we come back to some basic principles of education as a whole, we should make the effort to report them to also to our online classes. This man, Loris Malaguzzi, was a central figure in this story because it was I would say, the beginner of the Reggio Emilia approach, and the manifesto of this approach, of this educational approach about play, is this: no way, the 100 is there. The child is made of 100. The child has 100 languages, 100 hands, 100 thoughts, 100 ways of thinking, of playing, of speaking, 100, always 100 ways of listening, of marveling, of loving, 100 joys for singing and understanding, 100 words to discover, 100 words to invent, 100 words to dream. The child has 100 languages and 100 more, but there's still 99. The school and the culture separate the head from the body. They tell the child to think without hands, to do without head, to listen and not to speak, and so on. You will, if you go to the site and you research this Reggio Emilia approach, you will read this beautiful and impressive sort of manifesto. And what I would like to underline, that is my main concern, is that in online classes we do not have to forget this. We do not have to forget this. We are not there, but we are separated, but we do not have to. We can learn to play again together and maintain a joyful experience as teacher for our own training and for the relation with our students. Don't forget that joy is at the heart of play, and so joy is one of the key part of learning. So enjoying the process, I repeat it again. If we structure online lesson without the possibility of giving empathy, creativity, the real place, and we use only apps, websites, all of that, yes, it can work. I'm not sure it will be a joyful experience for our learners. I don't know how they will feel what they learn. So I say, let's try together. I would start, I wanted to deal with this. This is, I would like to show it. I call, this is a calm down kit. Calm down kit. I would like to propose, made with the shoebox. And I asked the people who wanted to attend this workshop to find a shoebox, or a box in any case is okay, and to create a sort of kit inside, putting inside, it's possible to color the shoebox, putting inside items, all the items that can be wonderful, for example, for a child to go back to, but also for ourselves. For example, in my calm down kit, I put this teddy bear. I use it when I used it regularly when I taught in Thailand, online in Thailand to children. And I taught remotely. I did this for a long time. There is written Italy, so it's a beautiful teddy bear, and it reminds me a wonderful period. Or maybe
I was trying to refocus the
yeah,
view, and
perfect.
so I'm just bringing the video, your picture, a little bit more into.
Oh, perfect.
Closer. Yeah.
So this is a teddy bear. I chose my element and I put them in the calm down kit. But of course, it's up to everybody to choose different elements. For example, this is an art journal. It's mini art journal. I created the cover. This is a wonderful exercise. I will speak about art journaling more tomorrow because tomorrow will be focused on this. And I put it in the calm down kit. These are ways of collaging, mini collage, some scraps of paper that can be nice to have, and something that I consider fundamental for a lesson, big fat markers, wonderful to use, wonderful to become wonderful to become best friends, because we can use thousands of apps, but if we show a big fat marker to a child or to a student and we say, do you have one? They have for sure. Can you paint a butterfly? Can you paint a heart? They will do, and they will bring their paper and show you, and it will be a fantastic moment, a true real moment. They will touch, and touching is the key. Touching. We can do it. I have it, one of my favorite supply to make collage, and also some perfumed stuff. This is my calm down kit. And you know, yesterday while I was preparing everything for today, I thought that this is a calm down kit, very good in time of pandemic like now, in challenging and uncertain times, to use also for parents. They can help their children to create a calm down kit. And when the child or the adolescent is anxious, or it's possible to say, go back to your calm down kit, take something, show me something. So it's a safe place in brackets to go. But you know, while I was preparing it, I thought that is also a lesson plan. If we put things in the box, is also a lesson plan, and we can bring things out of the box. So what is this is called a calm down kit, but it is also a metaphor of creativity. Usually when somebody wants to say something that is said very often about creativity is a thinking out of the box. Well, this is a great metaphor. I take things out of the box because creativity, even in online classes, I started using this in Thailand, and I was here or in France. And so I was not there, but with my teddy bear, I arrived to children, to the Thai children, and there were wonderful lessons. We felt near, but we were using a platform like we are now. So it's a countdown kit to go back when is needed, but it is also a lesson plan.
Yeah.
And you understand what I mean? And something we can come back to. All of us can create one. We can adapt the box for every kind of students, even older students, of course. Put the things there and say, prepare your own one, even with a challenging topic. Prepare your box and put there something, and after come show and tell the story of each single object. You could ask me, but there are plenty of apps and websites that can do the same without preparing and doing it. But there is the challenge that I'm proposing. Use material object when is possible in order to maintaining a contact, a touching, a sense of an experience of the senses. This is, in my opinion, absolutely fundamental. As is fundamental, I can come back to the slides, even if there are, and after I can see all the question, I can, I don't know if you can see my, okay, I can share my screen again. This is about collage your inner images. This is, I can show you, is there. I can show you the original that is here. Collaging, this will be a complete topic tomorrow, but collaging is, first of all, collaging is collage. You can collage with the recycle item. This is why I speak about analog collage and not digital collage. Well, nothing against digital collage. Wonderful to use both. So to create a digital collage, but analog collage, where you recycle materials. This is a recycled cardboard. This is a Japanese old paper. I have my supplier in Japan who sends me wonderful, wonderful pieces, and this is a butterfly. So I mean, this can be a part of a lesson about animals, a lesson about anything. So this is a collage and is a wonderful way to teach and to learn. This is another way. Here there is this is a leaf.
Real leaf. Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
A real leaf.
Okay.
I painted. And imagine what you can ask to the students, a real leaf. So we have reality here, reality here. You understand what is and we are communicating. This is a workshop, an online workshop, but we have reality. Reality is not forgotten. Reality is not thrown away. Reality is here as a real leaf. I painted with gold acrylic paint, but it doesn't matter. It's a real leaf. This is the purpose. I think is understandable and important. Playing and learning, improving social and emotional well-being in challenging times is great. This is the first exercise I wanted to propose you, if you want, is about belly breathing. So breathing with the belly and trying. This is something that can be done at the beginning of the lessons, at the end of the lesson, in order to help students and help ourselves to feel more grounded, to feel calm and really connected to what we are doing. Because one of the risks of online lessons, and as I told to somebody and I wrote in my personal notes, I have been teaching online since 2013. I didn't start online teaching during the COVID period. I started, and I have also taught workshops and during workshops and in private schools, but in particular, I teach to one-to-one and little groups, classes, even classes, And I started in 2013. And one of my main concerns was to feel close and to tell everybody that online teaching doesn't mean forgetting creativity and empathy. So breathing, belly breathing, if you shut your eyes and you breathe in, feeling it in the belly, breathing in, breathing out, relaxing yourself with the eyes closed, inspiring, aspiring. Start to scan your body from the head, feeling the top of the head, then feeling the air, the eyes closed, the mouth, scanning your body from the head to the feet, focusing if there are some other sensation. Do you feel cold? Do you feel hot? Where is your body? The feet must touch the ground. Ask your student if they feel their body, if they feel themselves. With this strong feeling of ourselves, we can feel in touch, even if they are far away, even if we feel alone sometimes because we lived lockdowns, we lived isolation, or we lived measures against the pandemic in this period. In any case, even if we feel we are alone, we can feel strongly connected. This belly breathing is a beautiful activity and can be done with candles or in many different ways. It's possible to adapt it in many ways. Then this is about what I wanted to show you. This is another collage, always done with piece of paper.
Can I ask a question about that?
Please, of course.
So with the belly breathing and the mindfulness, are there times like I'm sure you have to kind of teach them that, like the first few lessons or times, but then how does that look after they've already they've gotten to know that practice?
It's really interesting. It's really interesting because the reactions are really different. This is a wonderful question because well, it's not everyday stuff, of course. I
Right.
practice it, well, because it depends on the time. For just to make an example, I have some one-to-one online students, and maybe they have an interview, a job interview. Well, so I don't start the lesson with belly breathing, but because they are really, they want to make a mock interview because they will change their job. So it's important to work on that. But I strongly suggest when you're there, remember breathing, remember mindfulness, breathe in, breathe out. So in those cases, and they say yes. And when they go to the interview, after they tell me, I was quiet, I was calm because I followed what you told me. I had my feet, it's very important to have the feet strong on the ground. And I am feeling the body from the head to the feet. And they tell me it was helpful. It is the same piece of advice I give to my IELTS students before going to the exam. So in those cases, I don't start my lessons with that. But when I have small groups and we are focused to something else, it is an important part of my warm-up.
Okay.
Some of my students have been in the are or were a little bit, well, not really convinced. What is this? I don't want to lose time. It's an online lesson. What are you telling about belly breathing, mindfulness? I don't care. It's stupid.
Right.
And I said, don't worry, you don't need to do it. Wait and do something else. After a while, they said, I remember it was a small group of students. They said, okay, I participate. And I saw it's never for something forced. It's a warm up before the lesson. In certain occasion is my suggestion for particular specific stressing situation. So we spoke, I think yesterday, about flexibility. Of flexibility should be a personal concern.
Right.
If I teach and I suggest mindfulness and belly breathing, I am flexible. I adapt this kind of proposals to the different situation. This is also a fundamental part of the online lessons as I consider them, as I usually organize them. So this could be very important. And the last one I wanted to show is this, because this is, we can see pieces of paper, some different pieces, they are all scraps. There is a music sheet, scraps of paper, and with the scraps it's possible to create and to put, for example, here a beautiful woman smiling. So it's important for two reasons. The scraps can become magic. So it's part of magic we put in. The scraps can become magic and so always zero cost. I emphasize this because, for example, I'm also a teacher to migrant and refugees in Belgrade. I work there every week, and it's very important to have stuff at zero cost. Collaging, creating collage is a zero cost activity. It's possible to be done without anything, without we all have cardboards, used cardboards, pieces of paper, and so this is the possibility to create something like that. And this is the last one, and I had asked to bring things, and because I wanted to ask you to create very fast a personal calm down kit or a personal box, putting in the box the object, the important objects that are for you. So we could consider some minutes, and if you want, I say if you want, I don't know if now we have time and we can do it, but this was the exercise I wanted to propose. And
what I would maybe recommend is that we can speak with, it looks like Rebecca and Brian are here in the room right now. I'm gonna pause the recording. So if you're watching this at home and
of course, so I can also, I see there are 14 in the chat, so can read.
I'll pause the recording and we can have that conversation. And if we like work on the craft right now, then great. Otherwise, we can make a decision about the continuation.
Absolutely. This is Skip, the fantastic kit, and so we will have it in the recording. You're fantastic, or takeout box, and Rebecca, please show your wonderful. So we worked on the countdown kit. That is like that. That is mine. Please, Brian.
So I'm staying in a hotel right now, but I did my best with what's in the hotel room. I have a takeout box from a burger that I ate. And in the box, I put a few things. I put some breakfast tea because I think if you smell that, that's very calming. And some green tea, which is very calming to smell. And where's the hairband? If you're feeling a little bit stressed or have some energy to use, I think you can pull the hairband like this.
Perfect.
And I put some wet tissue because to me, that's very calming. I feel very relaxed after I wash my hands with wet tissue. And the last thing I have is hotel soap. I love hotel soap. I always take all of the hotel soaps I can, because if I smell hotel soap, it reminds me of taking a bath, and it's a very calming memory. So that's my hotel room calm down kits.
Wonderful. Please, Rebecca, would you mind showing also your box, because it's a recycled and it's part of this exercise. Wonderful, wonderful. And can you, because there is the recording, can you tell something about the things inside very shortly?
Yeah, I have some colored pens and pencils, and I have a sketching kit, and there's also a little cross-stitching kit that I have, and some people like to do origami, so I have some colored paper, and also I have a little teddy bear too.
And our teddy bear became good friends from South Korea to Italy, to the border, to a European border. They became good friends. Wonderful. It's like a paradise. And James,
quickly, yep, I made my calm down kit, and
fantastic.
I put my headphones that I tend to listen to some calming music. I also found the lint machine, little scrapper, so that I can just go ahead on my different clothes, and that's very calming just to see that and also have something productive. And then also my Google Educator pen that has the little widget on there to be able to play with, as well as just to kind of focus on other things, but have it be something that I can have a calming activity with the hands. So and then of course all the different colors that it used to make the outside part here.
Perfect. Is absolutely perfect. And as we said, they can be countdown boxes, they can be a sort of lesson plan, they can be made by teachers, or they can be made by the students and can be an inspiration they can inspire all us. Now for the last minute, if we have minutes, I wanted to ask everybody to take a piece of paper. If you don't have a piece of paper like that, also a smaller one is okay. And if you have colors, is better now, but if Rebecca has glue, I say colors because Brian told me that he has only a colored pencil. Colored pencil is perfect. Anything is perfect. We must remember that. And this is a part of the mindful experience in this kind of exercise. Color, or if you have scraps of paper, Rebecca, or piece of paper, and glue, scissors can be useful, but for example, I also like very much hand cut scraps. So it's really, really possible to hand cut. Brian, if you have some papers, you can also do it without gluing. So showing on the paper if you want, and it's okay, it's perfect. My reference is James, because I don't know about the time, but I think that we can have 4 minutes to.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Good.
You know what? I ask you to concentrate a moment and then cut and paste, or cut and select, or paint your first inner image, the first inner image that comes to your mind. So, and if it is nothing concrete, just only paint freely or cut and paste freely something on the paper. We consider, I think we can consider, because I want after, they must explain, they must tell me. So you let your inner image or inner images come and become conscious. If you don't have something specific, just paint, but paint leaving your hand. And after, you will explain, telling me what they represent, just 4 minutes to do this. And then after the explanation, please.
Okay. And for the recording purposes, I'm just going to pause this. So if you're watching this at home, I recommend that you take a moment and go ahead think about your idea.
No. Sorry. I immediately realize.
No, that's fine. The people at home, if they're watching this on the YouTube and follow up later, we can just, they know that.
No, please. No, I remain here. Breathing. And
just to let everybody know, we are we're back to recording, and so
yeah, of course,
for us to close out the session. And just
great. So when you are ready, and when you're ready and when you finish, you please tell us, and so I would like to see what you created, and you explain what you create, what you painted, what you marked, what you cut and pasted, and after you tell me, you explain.
I made a bunch of dots on the paper, and then I connected the dots with a pencil, and then
fantastic.
I saw some face, so I drew an eye, and then I saw a helmet, so I colored the helmet, and I ended up with some sort of...
Thank you very much. Did you have a specific image in your mind, or it was only free?
I don't really see things in my mind. I have a really hard time seeing visual graphics inside my head.
So it emerged while doing. So you connected the dots and it arrived.
Yeah.
Can you show again? It's really interesting. It's really very, very interesting. Thank you very much also for the call. Very beautiful, and thank you very much. So you don't have images, but if you connect to your senses, if you have a moment of calm and relaxing breathing, there is something coming to your mind, or only calm, nothing specific. Is it to you, right? I was asking you.
My brain's always busy with thoughts, and whenever I go calm, I usually fall asleep.
I understand. We have our minds always busy with thoughts.
And
sometimes
when I do find some sort of Zen state, I find myself thinking in circles, and I don't know what that means, but I just
in circles.
Think in circles.
It is interesting though.
I just kind of like go on a repeat mode, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I can't describe it other than circles.
I understand. I don't want a specific description. Circles coming, but breathing in and breathing out. Stay connected and free your mind from thoughts. Sometimes thoughts can be overwhelming a little bit, thoughts. We're always overwhelmed by thoughts and concerns and worries about everything. So trying to even with dots, some marks on the paper, letting the pen and the colors go, can be a moment, only 2 seconds, 2 minutes of, and only for the process, for nothing else. What you did, right, was only for the process, is without a purpose, without a reason, only for that. I think this is really liberating, is a feeling of freedom. So please, Brian, can you show me what you did and explain?
So at first I felt I was not so creative because right now I can see Busan Bay and there are some boats, and the image that came, I don't know if you can see. The image that came to my mind was a boat, but I made it a very big boat. Yeah, with many windows and many levels. So I think this boat is almost like a city on the inside. Maybe you can stay there for a long time and do many things there.
Keep it like that, please. Oh, yeah, it's like a city. And it's a very big, fat boat. Nice. Yeah, and what do you think is happening there now in that boat, the boat you painted?
I think there are different characters and different creatures in all the different windows and rooms. And oh yeah, I can see now. And yeah, there are so many different, if you go to any different room, you can see a different story unfolding in that room. So I think it's kind of like a dreamlike world with lots of different stories happening.
Wonderful, wonderful, enchanting. a dreamlike word. Imagine this wonderful definition, sorry, applied to our communication. Create a dreamlike word. Can be a painting, but can be something else. And we are doing it, I repeat it, using a platform from South Korea to Europe. It doesn't matter anything. And I felt an incredible strong connection with his big boat where there is a word inside, but also with the point connected and painted before. I am feeling an incredible connection. Is it possible? We can. Please, Rebecca, would you like to show what you created? What you did?
Yeah, when I think of calm, I think of mainly nature. So I made this.
Oh, it's great.
I like warmer weather, so that's why the sun is giant.
The sun is a collage. You made it with the paper, the origami paper. Oh, great! And what is incredibly great is that you put the glasses to the sun, and so similar to the emoji we use on the internet. No, when we want so there is a fantastic connection to technology, but is an incredible calming. Oh, great. What about the green part? So you like a warm weather. What about the green part? They are trees?
Yeah.
There are trees?
Trees in like kind of a forest, but there aren't enough trees for a forest. So
yeah.
And there's a little bench here.
Yeah, a little bench. What do you imagine you could do? You imagine you can, or you have a place like that where you go sometimes and sit, staying all in the nature without any other thoughts. Do you have a place like this near your house or not?
Yeah, there's a place fairly close to where I am.
Wonderful.
Walk.
Wonderful. Very, very beautiful. I love it, really. And beautiful the use of the origami paper to make a wonderful sun with the glasses. Great. Thank you very much, Rebecca. What about you, James?
Well, I didn't have a very creative thought to begin with, but then you mentioned something about as far as just to so I started I wanted order. I wanted something that was going to say it was order. So the first thing that came to mind with order was geometric shapes. So I started thinking squares and triangles and circles, but I wanted to do the scrapping. And so I wanted to cut and use things, but I knew I couldn't tear perfect squares or tear perfect. So then I wanted to,
You use the scissors.
Thing. So then I used the glue to be able to put that on there, and
it's a perfect collage.
There was actually the people, so I wanted to make sure that people were kind of at the center of things, and using the green was to make sure that I just kind of calmed down. So.
Great, you made people at the center of things, and people in the center. I love this. You use the shapes, and I underline how useful this activity can be for activities with the students also. But you made a wonderful collage with using the scraps. Wonderful. Really wonderful. So you see,
we do need to I went over a little bit, and we are preparing for some 7 o'clock sessions. I'll let you close out and give a couple last thoughts, but please
absolutely.
Go ahead.
But no is finished, and I thank you very much. And it was very nice to do this. I will speak specifically about analog collage and journal makings with other practical exercise and something else in the tomorrow. And I thank you all very much. And it was a pleasure. And see you in all the rooms of this fantastic virtual conference. Thank you very much, really. It was
again, thank you everybody that was in attendance for this session, and the overall idea of play, so crucial to our learning experience, but also I think making sure that as teachers, we remember how we can be an example and be helpful for one another as far as mindfulness and wellness and our mental health. So thank you, Francesca, for your leading through this session. If you're watching this on a video follow-up, 1 month, 2 months later, whatever, it's still a good practice. And we hope that you are able to take this example lesson and make a calm down kit for your classroom and for yourself personally. We have sessions later on this evening. If you are here live with us, we recommend that you check out our publications connection section, as well as we have a membership. We're talking about membership a little bit later on, I believe. So Brian, is there anything that you have that you would like to mention for us to make note of?
I think you mentioned everything. There's also a plenary tonight at 8 o'clock. And just thanks for a really wonderful session. I'm sure many more people would have been here if it weren't Friday. I think many people are finishing work right at the time this workshop started, but I'm sure a lot of people will catch up with the video. So thank you so much. I had a really wonderful time.
The beautiful thing is that Francesca is with us as a member of COTISO for the next year, maybe more, but she's available for us to our different chapters, and is very willing and excited to get to know all the other chapters.
I told you, James, I will take part, even if I am an international member, not living in Korea. I will be. I expect paramount effects. I am watching paramount effects in this conference, and I'm waiting for this in the future. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening with all the other sessions. And for everybody will be free at the same time or less tomorrow. I will be here.
Great.
So
thank you, Rebecca, for running here to be on time, and that's a perfect note to close on. Francesca, take care. Have a good time, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.